My name's Drew Vanders. Welcome back to another Valheim news. Iron Gate Studios has posted another development blog. It is called Skulls and Blood, and it says, "Greetings. We had quite a bit of a tremendous end to January here at Iron Gate with our Discord server unfortunately getting hacked. The server has been built back up again, and we once more invite you to join us though we're sad to say that most of the chat history is now gone due to the hackers deleting almost all of the channels. Still, so many of you reached out to us to offer your support and well wishes, and it means a lot to us to have such a caring community. You're the best." It is very unfortunate that they got hacked. I'm not happy about that. This is the first time hearing of it because I'm not on their Discord server. And there is a link that if you want to join them on their Discord server, you totally could. I'm not going to, but to the people who hacked them, why? Why would you do such a thing? Why? But now on to the fun stuff. In case you've missed it, we're currently collaborating with Heroic Replicas. They have created some incredible Valheim replicas, both large and small, which you can now get your hands on. Check out their Kickstarter campaign, which is live for another couple of days. Book your items before February 26th while you have the chance. I started recording this a few days late, so today is the 24th, and I'm probably going to release this later today when I'm done editing it. So if you're watching it now, you got until Monday, so do it on Sunday. Today's Saturday. And here's a basic preview of the stuff that they're selling. They got the shield, some kind of dinosaur thing. I don't know what the dinosaur is all about. Oh, that's a neck. But you also got like a little coffee stand or whatever with the portal. That seems pretty cool to me. And you also got a tankard. And there's also other various things. I also saw a dice set. But anyways, the best part about the Kickstarter is that it's run entirely by Heroic Replicas, so it hasn't impacted the Ashlands development at all. We'd of course like to continue to give you some sneak peeks of what we're working on. And for that, we'd like to start off with the third and final Walk and Talk episode. We hope you appreciated the series. And it's great that the Ashlands development team wasn't impacted by the Kickstarter, which is great because they can do their own thing at their own speed and all of that, and they can still make some money from the merch that's being sold. We're not going to be watching this together, but you can go watch it on your own. I'll be putting a link in the description. But I will be going over some stuff that caught my eye and my notes that I got over it. So, they pretty much talked about weapons and armors for the most of this entire episode. And pretty much they said that the progression is very similar to Mistlands, with that you're going to be getting the basic starting gear in the Ashlands. And then you're going to be going to more advanced gear. And they showed some special different types of weapons that you'll be able to upgrade with separate types of gems. And it seems like the blood type was one of their favorites. I'm not exactly certain why. I don't know what they do, but there's 3 separate types that they've shown us. There's the blood type, the storm type, and the nature type. And the storm obviously does lightning damage, and I'm assuming, I don't know, but I think the nature type does poison damage. It very well might. I have no idea if it does. But the blood type seems kind of cool if you can, if it heals you, because that sounds like the best. And they're adding in new customizable weapons with aspects, which I think is great. And it's going to be able to make you customize your character or your build exactly how you want it to be. And they said this biome is going to have the most weapons out of all the biomes that they've added in. So, I mean, if you think about the mace, the sword, the two-handed sword, and the double axes, that's at least 4 types of weapons. So, and then you're going to be able to upgrade them. So that's 4 times 4 because there's, the base type of weapon is a type of its weapon of its own. And then you got the 3 aspects that you can add onto it. So that's 16 separate types of weapons for this new biome. And I'm honestly thinking that you gotta collect them all. It's like Pokemon or Power World. You gotta collect all of them. And then they started to talk about armors. They said that there's 3 separate types. That there's a range or light armor, for like rangers and whatnot, for people who like to shoot from afar. There's the heavy armor, which is probably the one I'm gonna go for because I like the high defense. And there's also gonna be mage armor. And they also said something about a shotgun mage attack, which I'm kind of curious about. I don't know what that's all about, but it does sound interesting. They didn't really elaborate very much on it. And then for most of the end part of the conversation, they were talking about ice and fire damage, about the immunities and weaknesses, about how it should affect the fire enemies. They were thinking like, is a fire enemy going to be immune to fire damage, or are they gonna like the ice one, from an ice weapon when they attack a fire enemy? Is the ice gonna melt before it gets to the enemy or something? And they were kind of vague about which way they lay side on it, so I don't know whether or not the ice deals extra damage to these new enemies in the Ashlands or the fire does extra damage, but they said that you could be able to go either way. So it's kind of interesting that they said that. I'm kind of excited to see, like, test out, see how well ice damage does and the fire damage. I'm assuming that fire damage doesn't work well against fire enemies. That's like, you know, the normal trope with all other video games. But that's all the notes that I gathered from their video, and now it's on to the pictures. But of course we have some good old-fashioned still images for you as well. The Ashlands is a hostile place even for the creatures that live there. You'll be able to stumble upon the corpses of some of them on your travels. Just be careful of whatever killed them in the first place. You know, you can see some skeletons down there, and I think my personal opinion is that lava got them. You know, like lava flows up a little bit, you know, scorches them, they get stuck in a cave and they die. That's my assumption. The other obvious assumption is that another creature killed them. One far more dangerous than these creatures here. The skulls of the very same creatures can also be used to create this fancy looking wreath, which is both decorative and useful. Can you guess what for? I think, like, my first thought is like, oh, it increases your vested bonus by 1, but I'm like, well, maybe it does something else than that, and I wouldn't know what, but if you have any ideas of what you think it could do, put it down in the comments. We also want to give you a clearer view of something from the Walk and Talk episode. We go into a bit of detail about the weapon customization you'll be able to experiment with in the Ashlands, and how you use gems to give special properties to your items. This sword, for example, is the same sword that we've already shown you a lightning version of, but this is what it will look like if you upgrade it with a bloodstone instead. And so this sword is a blood sword. I'm assuming that the properties of blood means lifesteal, which I think would be very, very useful. So I think the blood one's probably the most powerful one, but there's also lightning and nature as well. I'm very excited for this next update. They said this is the final Walk and Talk, so that makes me think that this is, you know, we're getting much closer to the release of the new update. They said it will happen before June, and well, if this is the final Walk and Talk, that means they're done. Well, not necessarily done, but they're done with the videos, and that means the big spoilers that they're doing, they're gonna stop, I guess. But I mean, I'm pretty sure they'll still have the development blogs as well, but I never know. I'm very excited to start experimenting with what the weapons and what they do and how to get them, and getting all of them, because you gotta collect all the weapons. It's a new theme for the Ashlands. You gotta collect all the weapons. If you don't collect all the weapons, you're not playing it right, or to completion. Well, I hope you found this informative and enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like and comment down below, and it'd be fantastic if you gave me a sub sandwich, and I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.